Welcome to my non-spoiler review of Thunderbolts, the latest MCU film in 2025. Lots of hype behind this movie, lots of positive vibes. It got some really good feedback from the early screenings, mostly positive, and I finally got a chance to see this film, directed by Jacob Schreier and written by Eric Pearson and Joanna Callow. So the basic premise of the movie is a group of rejects, superhero rejects, have to come together to stop another reject, a very powerful one, from going completely out of control. The movie centers around a number of heroes, and you've probably seen them in the trailers. You've got, the Black Widow Yelena version. You've got the Winter Soldier. You've got the U.S. Agent. You've got Red Guardian. You've got Ghost. You've got the whole crew coming together here. I would say what a lot of folks consider the B team. It's a world right now where the Avengers have not been seen in a long time, and people are clamoring for new Avengers to show up and protect the planet. But is it going to be these guys? This is a very interesting idea, already kind of similar to the premise of Suicide Squad. The thing about these characters is they were never meant to be the centerpiece of the stories. They are just sort of the villains slash side characters, and here they are made the centerpiece. And I appreciate that, because one of the things that Marvel has had issues with is figuring out what to do with its characters. And there were times where I wasn't sure we were ever going to see these characters again, but here we are, and they are absolutely at their best. The film follows Black Widow Yelena, played by Florence Pugh once again. When you got Florence Pugh in anything, she's gonna kill it. She's gonna knock it out of the park. One of the most talented actresses in the game right now, which is why she's getting so much work. The movie follows her and her meeting up with these other heroes, or villains, or anti-heroes, I guess you can say. And the film really makes her the centerpiece. She gets the most screen time. She's like the emotional crutch of the movie. And so they picked a great actor to play the role, because there's a lot of emotion and a lot of deep themes in this movie. Now, I'm not going to go into spoilers for this film as promised, but I do want to talk about some of the themes that this movie addressed, because I'm sure many of you are wondering, is the movie really as good as people are saying? Now, it's really good. This movie is very, very good. I enjoyed it. Its runtime could be a bit misleading. It's only two hours and 6 minutes. But my God, did they use that time wisely. I felt like most of the heroes got plenty of screen time. You could maybe make the argument they could have done more with Bucky, although after seeing the movie, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was. I think it was plenty of time. There is one character who I thought was wasted. I'm not going to go into that because it's a spoiler. But you'll know it when you see it. So the movie tackles something that all of the main characters have dealt with in the past, which is loneliness, isolation, and how when you are lonely, you end up thinking things that aren't true. You end up sort of having a lot of self-doubt, reflecting on your past mistakes, guilt, remorse, all of these things are the backbone of this film, and that's what I think the Suicide Squad film was lacking. They tried to give us heart with the Will Smith character, and he's a good actor, but this movie just feels a lot more thematic and a lot more cinematic. This movie actually had something to say, and it really is a powerful look. Obviously, most of us don't ever have the experience that these characters have, being paid assassins and working for the government and black ops and all the different backgrounds they come from. But I think most of us can relate to being lonely and how you really do need each other. And I thought that was extraordinarily well done in this movie. Like, it's not something that even the Avengers have covered in their films, and it fits better with these characters because these characters, the vast majority of them, started off as villains. And so it's sort of the arc of these characters going from being somewhat villainous to actually being an important part of the MCU at this point is a great execution. I think this movie, there were people saying, oh, this is the best movie since Endgame. It might be. I don't know yet because I want to watch Deadpool and Wolverine again and see if that holds up. I know some people have said that it really doesn't hold up upon repeat viewings, but that movie was mostly a good time. And then, of course, No Way Home, I do think No Way Home was hurt by repeat viewings, but still a fun movie. Like, it's a fun movie, but it's not the same as seeing it with an audience. Thunderbolts, though, really did give us a strong backbone when it comes to the theme of loneliness and what that can do to people and how the darkness inside of you can manifest. I thought it was all very well done. As far as it being the best since Endgame, I will say this. I would probably compare this movie to the 2012 Avengers film directed by Joss Whedon. This movie has a lot of the same energy. We actually revisit a lot of the same places in this film that were in that one. I mean, Avengers Tower got a big scene in this movie, and that's something I wasn't expecting. So to me, I think if you liked the 2012 Avengers film, I think you'll like this one. Now, another question you may be asking is, do I have to have seen all of the Marvel shows? Like, do I have to have seen Hawkeye and Ghost? Do I have to see Falcon and Winter Soldier? Do I have to even see Black Widow? So it's a two-pronged answer. Number one, I think you can pick up on the characters without having seen those things. So I don't think it's completely necessary for you to go back and see all of the Falcon and Winter Soldier show when they introduce U.S. Agent, or even go back to see Black Widow where they introduce Taskmaster, Yelena, and Red Guardian. But I do think if you did see those things, you do get rewarded because the events that went on in those movies are absolutely brought up here. Now, earlier I said that the movie has themes of loneliness and how you have to come together, but one of the things this movie did very, very well, and I think it was one of the best edited films ever in Marvel when it comes to the pacing, because they really do use that 2 hours and 6 minutes very wisely. I feel like also, even though it's got, deep themes, it's also able to balance that with humor. I think that movies like Thor, Love and Thunder, and even the Joss Whedon Justice League really have issues with trying to figure out what tone we're going to be in. Are we going to be lighthearted or are we going to be serious? This movie, I think, does a great job. Most of the humor comes from Red Guardian, but he also brings a lot of heart and care. And when things get serious, the humor does take a back seat. So they're not just, constantly doing one-liners. That's not how the movie is. I think it really balances these tones very well. And like I mentioned before, a lot of comic book movies have this problem. It ends up being too goofy at the wrong time, and it kind of takes you out of it. This film, I thought, not only elevated these characters, Red Guardian, Ghost, U.S. Agent, elevated them to being top Marvel stars, tippy top heroes, at least going into the next big Avengers films. But it also was a very entertaining movie. I wasn't bored not once in this entire movie. I just sat there drinking my water, watching it. There was nothing, at no point that I want to leave. Every conversation was either building a character or moving the plot along. Every character, I think, had enough time, and we kind of saw a glimpse of who they were, which is why I don't think it's necessary to go back and watch those shows. But like I said, if you did watch them, the film does reward you. I want to also put over Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. That's a very interesting character because she's kind of the Marvel version of Amanda Waller, where you have a complicated relationship with her because she does really bad things in this movie and plays herself up as being a good person, but she does bad things. So it's kind of one of those situations where she's a bad guy who thinks she's doing the right thing. And I think there's probably a future character arc with her, coming down the pipeline. But yeah, David Harbour was great. Tons of chemistry with Florence Pugh. I do gotta say that the thing that kind of most made me happy about this movie is the chemistry. It really is. Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent, this is the coolest version of U.S. Agent we've seen. I think that the development of who he was from Falcon and Winter Soldier till now is very, very cool. And I like that character way more in this film than I did before. Of course, we know about Lewis Pullman playing Bob, the lovable loser, somebody who has a very complicated past that's explored in the film, but not so explored that they can't do a movie about him later on as well. Also, Hannah John Kamen, I did not see the Ghost Show. I did not see that show. But she was pretty good in this. I mean, she probably didn't get anywhere near as much screen time as the others, except maybe Bucky. See, so to me, if you were to sort of like tier list who got the most screen time out of these characters, I think it was definitely Florence Pugh's Yelena, the U.S. Agent, and probably Bob. I would say that. And then followed by Red Guardian, Bucky, and Ghost. And something else I like too about the movie is that I like that they focused on actually saving people. A lot of these superhero movies, specifically like a good example is Man of Steel, when there's a big fight going on, that usually the heroes and the villains, one of the mistakes these movies make is that they're constantly trying to fight each other. And, there's collateral damage, and they're not even checking to see if the people are okay. There are sequences in this movie where you see these characters helping innocent people survive disaster. And that, to me, was probably the real turn where these characters went from heel to babyface, from villains to good people, because they were willing to put their lives on the line to rescue innocent people. And they showed that in this movie. And so many superhero movies don't. So, yeah, this is a thumbs up movie. Go see it. I'm telling you now, I would make time to see this one. You will not regret it. I think this film can be seen not just by fans of superhero movies. I think if you're a fan of the MCU, you definitely need to see it because it is without question building into Doomsday. Like, this is not a situation where it's, this is a side story. No, the outcome of this film is going to affect the next few movies. That is a fact. So it's a very important story, and I do think you should go see it in the theater if you can. This is one that I say, yeah, spend your hard-earned money on it because you're going to get a fun, good movie that will also remind you about the importance of not isolating yourself and being around people that are there to lift you up. Really powerful message, man. Huge thumbs up. I'll probably do a spoiler review maybe this weekend. I don't know yet. But for now, check out Thunderbolts **. Take care of yourself. Have a good one.